And we've seen the publicity shots, I'm sure, of you with your crazy eyes.
Yeah.
They're contact lenses. Can you see anything through them?
Right. Well, we have a couple of different pairs. It depends what I'm doing on the day in the scene. That day they had little pinholes in, so I had a couple of different pairs with various different sized holes and various different sized lenses as well. But the worst pair the most effective pair that we'd use were 22 millimeters with no hole, and they were all painted, so it was totally opaque. But on other days I got to wear 16, 15 millimeter ones with bigger holes in, which was a lot nicer because you can see, and people don't just sit there going, do they hurt? Yeah. While you're sat there like crying like, no, I'm fine.
So that was a Do we see the descent of Ramsay even more this series?
Well, I mean, when you have a character like Ramsay, anything's possible. He's a maniac, so you've got to be ready for anything.
And the great thing about a maniac, just finally, he's got to go out with a bang, right? I mean, he's got to have a great death.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, it's again, that's for the writers to worry about. But yeah, I guess that's someone like it'd be a shame if you just sort of, I don't know.
Slung his hook.
Yeah, fell down some stairs or something, wouldn't it? Yeah, but, I'm sure he'll...
Died in sleep would be terrible.
Yeah. Really boring day.
Falls off his horse. Yeah. No, it'd be, I don't know, something, yeah, I'm sure they'll come up with something brilliant.
What did you do in that year off? Did you watch it? I mean, I'm guessing you obviously watched it.
Well, it was quite convenient because it was my GCSE year at school, so
good.
I could go and do all those. So sadly I didn't actually get time to watch the series.
So you could have been in Belfast filming Game of Thrones, but instead you were doing your biology GCSE.
Precisely.
This sounds like a terrible deal for you.
It was really weird, but no, it was. I think it was the first time in about 6 years I'd ever done a full term at school.
No, don't boast now. Don't show off.
I got so used to sort of just doing 3 weeks and then jetting off somewhere. It was like, what? You guys are here the whole time. How do you do it?
You didn't want to do it initially, is that right? When you asked sort of way back in
season one. Yeah. Well, it's a kind of thing that it's a genre that never has appealed to me. There's lots of big blockbuster series of things to do with fantasy and space and all that I've never seen and didn't want to see. And Game of Thrones initially fell into that slot, so I passed on it. But when they came back with season 5 with the character of High Sparrow, it was too good a chance to pass over this time.
You've had such an eclectic career. When you look back and put Game of Thrones into the mix, where does it stand? How big is this show? Where does it sit?
Well, I'm glad I'm doing it, and I'm glad it's come where it's come. It comes in the middle of my playing King Lear and Shylock, and it's a great contrast to all that.
But it's funny, because you only read them once, and then you'll be sitting there with your mates or whoever you're watching the Game of Thrones with. Me and my friends all had Game of Thrones parties.
Yeah.
And so then we were sitting there watching it, and then something happens, and then you'll be like, oh, what? Oh my God! And then your friend looks at you as if to go, aren't you in this show? Like, shouldn't you know this? So we're really none the wiser, and we're it feels good to be able to be a fan of it just as much as anyone else and be just as surprised by things. It's great.
And how long can it go on for? Because now we've sort of got rid of the shackles of the books almost.
Yeah,
it can keep going. Yeah.
Please.
So what do you reckon? Another 3-4 series?
Forever.
Yep. You literally will just carry on.
Forever.
Chopping that wood.
Yep.
Chopping that wood. Chopping that wood.
Yeah, they can chop whatever they want. I mean,
well, you've already had a piece of wood chopped.
But he went there. He went there. You connected them dots.
Joe from Scotland.
On that note,
Joe from Scotland.
I'm not sure I can rescue it after that, to be honest. So cheers, chaps.
Cheers,
thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.